I've got 3 words for you. Odell Beckham Jr.
I was going to say,
welcome home.
Oh, boy. Gentleman with a J. OBJ, let's go. He's
what
back.
a time to be alive.
He's back, and I got a feeling that he is going to be involved early and often. He has been simply spectacular in practice for weeks now. I think that the Browns are very well aware of what he brings to this offense, and I, for one, am very excited to see him unleashed on Sunday against the Bears at First Energy Stadium. Guess what? This week, I'm sure the offense is getting introduced. Last week, it was the defense.
Oh, jeez.
What's the ovation going to be like for Odell Beckham Jr.? What's the ovation going to be like for Nick Chubb? What's the ovation going to be like for 6?
Have you looked at the forecast for Sunday? 74.
Oh, it's up.
Yeah.
It was going to be in the 60s. It was going to be real crisp.
It's
Now it's
74. It's 60% chance of rain, but that rain must be overnight. It's at no point. Should be clear. I mean, it's going to be at kick. You're looking at 70 degrees, 68, 70 degrees at kick.
Beautiful.
How are you beating that on the shores of Lake Erie?
You're not. By the way,
go ahead.
I want to get your opinion
Sure.
on this before
Yeah,
I do something crazy. So I have a kind of a shiny, I'd almost call it like a silver suit that's got like a black check kind of into the suit, like in the.
I like it.
Like subtle. It's not a patterned suit, but if you were to look at it up closely, the garment, you'd see there's black mixed in with the silver as well.
Okay.
Would this be a good opportunity?
A tweed silver kind of? Is it a tweed or is it more of
it's got a sheen to it. It has a sheen.
Oh God.
And it's a good. I like this suit a lot. It's a fantastic suit.
Feels like
but
it sounds
incredible. What about the black shirt with the white collar under that?
Oh, God.
Or is that too aggressive?
It's awful aggressive. I will say, with your current dome situation, the way that you're shorn, I think if anyone could do it, it's you. You have a situation right now where the beard and the dome is the same length.
That's right.
And it is a fantastic.
8 millimeters.
It's a fantastic look. I think you can do it.
I'll take a picture.
Yeah, I need to see it. I'm trying to picture it in my head. So you're talking about like a Hefner shirt, the black, except black instead of blue.
Uh-huh.
The Robert Kraft with the white collar.
Uh-huh.
Is it French cuff white collar on the cuffs?
I haven't worn it in a while. I'd have to check. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it has a cufflink. I got some skull and crossbones cufflinks that I'd throw right in there.
Jeez. Well, it's Odell's return.
I might maybe.
Go big.
Are you? I feel like a man in a house with Bootsy the Bold is probably up on a Sunday by 8-ish.
8-ish.
Yeah. On a Sunday?
Oh, dude. There's no weekends. Come on. They're up between 6 and 6:15 every day.
And they're like, let's go.
Let's go. I mean,
entertain me.
They're on they're on some sort of gizmo. They're doing something. We're on a Switch or we're on a Xbox or something, but we're watching Netflix. Something's going on.
Okay.
The amount of times since they've been back to school that I have awoken to a silent house, I can't count them. And I'm up before 6, right at 6. So they're
okay. All right, so on Sunday, I'll potentially roll this out there. The question would be, I feel like I've got to go with an orange tie, like a loud orange tie with it.
There's a lot going on here, by the way you're describing. So I'm trying to picture this in my head.
That's what I'm saying. I
just want to make sure that you don't look like a hitman.
That's why I can't go with a dark tie.
Right.
A dark tie would be, a nice black tie would be spectacular with this, but yes, then I'd be like Paulie Walnuts.
Right, yeah. You would. Like a little Maltasante.
Yeah.
Running into the Bing.
Have you seen him recently?
No.
He looks aged.
Well, it's been 20 years.
Yeah.
It's been a minute. Is he in the new Sopranos movie?
I believe
a cameo
he
of some
is,
sort?
I think.
It's about his dad.
Yeah, and how about the fact that Carmela is in it and left on the cutting room floor? Edie Falco came back to reprise her role, and that did not make the cut.
I find that interesting.
I find that hard to
What
believe.
would they do? Would they reverse age her like they did for The Irishman? Like they'd make her.
Well, you can only reverse age somebody until they have to kick somebody, as we found out in the.
That got awkward.
Speaking of awkward, I know you did not watch Dancing with the Stars, but maybe you did on the DVR. And of course, our good friend The Miz,
it's sitting in the DVR, but I not.
Was tremendous.
Yep.
Martin Kove, who is the sensei for the Cobra Kai dojo in Karate Kid, and then also reprises that role in
Martin
Cobra Kai.
Kove is the name of the sensei in Karate Kid.
I feel
the
like
original?
I have that right. Maybe I don't. Now you're making me out myself. No, yeah, that's right, Martin Cove.
I feel like that guy's name had to be like Stan.
Well, it turns out that it is Martin Cove.
Wow, would not have had that.
He's 75.
Wow. He's got to be. Yeah, I mean, that's 40 years ago.
They put him out there. The poor man cannot move. I don't know if it's been from all the action that he's done in film.
Right.
His body does not move.
Yeah.
Sad. He dances like De Niro kicked somebody.
It was satisfying as a kid when he turns up in Rambo, First Blood Part 2, and is very quickly handled by Stallone.
Dispatched of, as I like to say.
I thought that was very satisfying out of that. All right, we've got the Bears coming in for the game on Sunday. Let's get into your OBM Hot Topics. Ohio Business Machine, preferred copy provider, your Cleveland Browns. They have all the X's and O's for your office. You call 216-485-2000. Visit ohiobusinessmachines.com. We know that Odell Beckham Jr. is in. No injury designation for 1-3, and boy, what a treat that will be. Beyond that, we do have some injuries to report as well. Hub and Taki both out this week. JC and Jed both questionable, but we've already handled JC. I feel like we shouldn't even have him on there, and he will be joining us in the second hour of the program.
Yes.
But Jed practiced today, right?
Jed did practice today. They said he is significantly further along than he was this time a week ago, the expectation is that he will start at left tackle for your Browns on Sunday, which is good because when you got Khalil Mack on one side and Robert Quinn on the other, they can get after the quarterback, and so you're going to need your tackles to be stout in pass pro.
I felt it's almost like in regard to Odell, and that when people were talking about this team this offseason and even in the lead up to this season, that almost like you forget that he's here, which seems impossible with the talent that he is. But it's almost like people have forgotten that he is on the roster. He is on the roster. I remember you and I watching him in June in minicamp look great and going, holy cow, like he's operating as if there are no limitations to him. That was all the way back in June. So lo these many months later, and just from what you're hearing in camp, this is going to be an exciting day to get him back on the field. And what he could unlock offensively for us is a pretty significant thing, because all of a sudden dealing with him on the outside and you start to think about the mismatches around the field, that's a big one.
It is a big one, and something to keep an eye on. When he lines up to the right of the Browns formation, to the right of Baker Mayfield, the corners for the Bears play sides. He'll be lined up with Kindle Vildor, who so far is allowing a quarterback rating of 149 when targeted. Baker, by the way, throwing right outside the numbers on the season, is 9 of 10 for 182 yards. Last time I checked, 18.2 an attempt is pretty good.
Pretty good.
So look for them to try to exploit that matchup when Odell is on the right side of the formation.
Going to be very, very fun out there, and there's just so much. He brings so much juice to everything, and his teammates and everything else. I think you add all of it up, and this is a fun game regardless of this. It was going to be fun. You add to the fact that Justin Fields will be making his first start. I've seen reading a lot of the stuff this week from the Bears side of things in regard to Fields, and one of the things that Fields says is he hasn't been nervous since high school. That's something that they always said about him at Ohio State, that his demeanor was pretty much flatline. No matter what, good, bad, it was flatline. And I think that he will have a very professional approach. I would also say that what you saw from him last week, this does not mean that he won't have struggles. He will. He'll probably throw the ball up, and you'll probably get a couple of picks. I think that's certainly in play with any rookie. But I do think that the game plan will be more tailored to him, and that he'll be much more comfortable in it this week than last week when he was thrust into the fire against Cincinnati.
He is a talented guy, and look, it was his one play on a 3rd and 9 where he steps out of a Hendrickson tackle, a sack attempt by the prize free agent they had signed. The Bengals did from, of course, the New Orleans Saints last year, and he extended that drive, and that won the game for him. So he still is dangerous with his legs. He will throw the ball down the field. He's somebody that you are going to have to account for, and the Browns are going to have to be ready. He is going to be better. I believe that, but at the same time, this is an offense that has not been explosive in by any stretch of the imagination, and that is not due to who the quarterback has been. A lot of people would say it's scheme driven. This is a game for the Browns to get well defensively, and especially on 3rd downs.
Yep, absolutely. So we'll continue to have the breakdown of that game for you throughout the next couple of hours. As I mentioned, JC Tretter will join us in the second hour of the program. We'll also go behind enemy lines in the second hour of the program with Jeff Dickerson, ESPN NFL Nation Bears reporter. We'll get his view on where they sit with Fields and maybe the plan that Matt Nagy will try to implement here on Sunday. What did you make of the game last night?
I thought that the Carolina Panthers look like a legitimate team that has real playoff aspirations. Darnold is playing well. DJ Moore is a stud. They've got Anderson, Terrace Marshall, McCaffrey. They were humming pretty early, and frankly, if they don't get McCaffrey doesn't go down and then they get stopped on a 4th and 1, they probably just blow the doors off that game.
Were you surprised they didn't look at that longer?
I thought he I thought he got
it on the initial.
Yeah.
And that referee came running in from the side, and he was way back
short.
for it. I mean, he was well back from. And to me, I thought, geez, I think he's got it on the forward progress. And
I don't know why they didn't just sneak it. They'd snuck the ball like 3 times already.
As soon as I
very
saw him in the
effectively.
gun, I just thought, what is he doing back there? Just get under center, pick up a yard, fall forward. You'd get it.
The other thing I feel like when you're under the gun and the running back's right on your hip, there's only one area that they really can go.
100%. Yeah. And the other thing that's crazy about it is the running back they don't get that burst at the snap because they have to wait for the ball.
Right.
So they stand and wait, even for a half beat before they're handed the ball, and then they run forward. You just miss a little of it. Put the kid under center and either sneak it or run it right behind him, behind a guard. Pick one you like. I mean, to me, that's the way you handle that.
Yeah, but overall, I'm impressed with Carolina. I think their defense is a handful, obviously a crushing game in the sense that you win, but you lose J.C. Horn and you lose McCaffrey. Now, I think Chuba Hubbard looked good. I think they'll still be okay there. They've got to put the ball in Darnold's hands a little more, which I think is fine with the receivers that they have. And that defense, that front, Burns on one side, Hassan Reddick on the other, is formidable.
The loss of Horn is so significant. He not just as a rookie, but just in general has been so great. Through the first 2 weeks of the season, he's been every bit what they thought that he would be. The thing with McCaffrey is just brutal, and it's one of those. It looked like he got shot by a sniper. With the way that it was at the hamstring, and that's something that could be there for. I mean, this could be several weeks with a hamstring. I mean, that's why anytime you hear the word hamstring referenced in professional sports, it's hamstring, and then the next word is linger.
Yep.
Because it doesn't ever go away. Like, he could be dealing with it all year. You're right. They have Chuba Hubbard, who is a stud at Oklahoma State, and that will help. One other thing that I found interesting in the game last night. So it appeared to me that the Carolina receivers were not just open, but were open by teens of yards often. And I was thinking to myself watching this game, and not that I necessarily want this to happen because it's the last thing we need is for this division to get tougher. If I were Cincinnati and this season goes off the rails, I'm going to call Joe Brady. Joe Brady is calling plays in Carolina. He called plays at LSU for Joe Burrow. He has a knack for it. That's the call you make.
Can we not,
right down there. I just said I don't want.
I'm not concerned with the Bengals.
No. I'm just
giving them good advice.
I'm saying if I'm them, and I don't want it, but I'm saying like that's what I would do. That's exactly what I would do because, for all of the Sam Darnold resurrection stories, he still did a lot of the stuff that Sam Darnold did with the Jets and they did at USC. He held the ball too long. He got it swatted twice by holding it up, and Aikman was critical of him stepping up. You got to get rid of it. You step up. You got to let it go. He would hold. He still has some of those busy eyes. Those receivers were wide open.
Yes.
There was nobody anywhere. And to his credit, he was able to hit him. He was able to be efficient. But I look at Brady, and I think that's a guy who can scheme people open, and he does it a lot.
Okay, couple things. One, no advice for the Bengals on this program.
No,
two,
valid.
When you're playing a team that's going to play a lot of cover two, they're without their top corner, Money Mitch. They're without their safety, Justin Reed. You know what you're getting, and you can exploit that. I think it's interesting that Lovie Smith is still running that same Tampa 2 that, Frank, it feels like the league has figured it out. There's nobody else running it. When the Browns had to get ready for this game, they had to go back and watch years old tape to get ready for the cover 2.
Okay. So when this was put into effect, and its heyday, originally in Tampa and then later with the Bears, his linebackers were Derek Brooks in Tampa, Brian Urlacher and Lance Briggs
in Chicago.
Yes.
Yes.
It's possible that the magic of the Tampa 2 might just lie in the talent of those players. Two of them are Hall of Famers, and I think Briggs is one of the most underrated players of the last 20 years.
Some people say he's the best will linebacker ever.
Well, see, there you go.
Yeah.
I mean, so, and by the way, it has not all been great. Lovey went to Illinois for a lot of years, and that was a disaster, and now he's back. And they don't have. I mean, 15 yards open. It was crazy. It was like playing Madden against rookie.
Yeah. Well, you know what you're getting.
There was nobody around receivers. It was wild.
Do you remember when they said that the one thing defenses have now is disguise? Well, when you're getting a certain look 70% of the time, there's not a lot of disguise happening.
No.
By the way, Kevin Costa with an early leader for tweet of the day.
Oh, good job out of KC.
And he wonders,
okay,
is Beau doing CBD when he should be doing CBD?
Oh.
That's pretty good. Pretty good.
You got Kev. One thing. Usually when we double dip our shows, it's got to be in a different time zone. We made an exception on DLD.
Correct.
But other than that, usually it's AZCDD.
Yeah, SF490.
You know, those shows are being done in different time zones.
Yeah.
All right, this is going to be a fun. We'll continue to get you set. And by the way, guys, get to the stadium early, get in your seats early, and we're even incentivizing. These are gorgeous, right?
I mean,
these
look
are
at them.
Absolutely gorgeous.
The feel of great felt.
You love I love these pennants. I had these as a kid.
All in my room.
My oldest son has these in his room. Loves them. First 10,000 get a 75th anniversary pennant. They are gorgeous.
They're real and they're spectacular.
They really are. Much like a Ferragamo shoe.
Yes.
And obviously we're wearing them. Wearing the kit.
Oh,
it's out
game. There. It's out there. We put out a video at Browns on Twitter. Check out that video.
The helmet is just
beautiful.
Sensational.
It's beautiful.
It's gonna look.
It's beautiful.
It's gonna look sweet. You got that nice gray face mask on there, and you think about how cool Odell looks in a jersey anyway, and now you put him in those, like how swagged out he's gonna have that thing.
Yep.
Going to be special. Going to be very special. All right. You said speaking of videos, did you have something else you want to add?
Oh, yeah. Have you seen the Spitzer ad making
What am I hard to seeing?
Of course you're not. Joel Bitonio and Jack Conklin. I mean.
Joel is
outrageous.
Real in this.
Outrageous.
It's just exceptional. It's exceptional. It really is.
It's a home run. Is really how I feel about it.
All right. You'll hear from JC in the second hour of the program. Also go behind enemy lines. And we will continue to get you set. Have some scores as well. The kids are hot. Chesty Gibby.
Oh,
wow.
Boy, we're about 10 minutes away from Chesty Gibby.
A lot of Chesty Gibby coming your way. It's all part of a Football Friday edition of Cleveland Browns Daily right here on 850 ESPN Cleveland. All right, welcome back into Cleveland Browns Daily. Beau here for my guys at Weather Seal Home Services. Do you have a leaky roof? Loose shingles, roof discoloration. Don't head into winter with a bad roof. In fact, call Weather Seal Home Services right now. You get a beautiful new roof before the season ends. Plus, choose between free gutters or Gutter Guard. You can also get up to 7 years, 0 interest with approved credit. Trust in Weather Seal, guys. They're going to do the job right for the best price and the lowest monthly payments. You can call 877-351-SEAL or go to weathersealhomeservices.com. News today in the National Football League that there will be a third game for Wild Card Weekend, Super Wild Card Weekend. So now 2 games on Saturday, 3 on Sunday, and 1 on Monday.
I don't like it.
I don't either.
Number 1, it's just Wild Card Weekend. Number 2, the team that plays on the road on Monday night, should they win, has to be on a short week, and I don't think that that's right.
Well, and it could even, I mean, it could be an incredible, if you play Monday night, I mean, didn't we play, we played last year, we played Sunday and Saturday, right? Or was it the other way?
No, we played Sunday night, and then we played Sunday.
Yeah.
We played Sunday night, Sunday. But somebody last year did. Somebody last year played Sunday, Saturday.
Is it the Saints right before us?
It just isn't.
It's not right. And you're talking about a whole day. My goodness. To what end? I mean, I love it as a consumer. I'm going to love it because it gives me something to watch on Monday night.
Yeah.
And that's fun. And now I got something else to watch. You know, Monday Night Football lasts one more week. That's great. But from a competition standpoint, and I do think that we're kind of getting to a point where it's almost overload. And I think there's injury concerns to it. And I think you saw that last night for Carolina. You cannot be prepared. It's impossible for an NFL player to be prepared for Thursday night when they play Sunday. Impossible.
Yep.
The body's not right. The body is not right to play that quickly. The sooner you play Thursday night games, the better, obviously. It gets worse as the season goes along. And I don't know if you could ever do the schedule where you every time if you play on Thursday, you have a bye week the previous Sunday. I don't know how
Right.
I don't know if you could make that work. But I think those are things you're going to have to do because the human body's not made to do that. And then on top of it, now you're adding a Monday. That is just a tremendous disadvantage to play Monday night and lose an entire day.
Yeah. If you look at the records of teams that play on a short week in the divisional round of the playoffs, it's not good.
No.
And I think there's a direct correlation between playing on a short week and losing. And if you play on Monday, you are guaranteed a short week in the divisional round. Guaranteed.
And I did see in the release as well that it's right now there's not even a media partner for it. Not that they'll have trouble finding one.
No.
But obviously that'll be a situation where they bid it out, I'm sure, to whoever. I mean, I guess my point is it's not an ESPN production necessarily. It could end up being, but it's not necessarily one.
At this point, we just don't know.
As that's open. So, yeah, I think it's a little tricky. I do. I think it's a little tricky. It was a disadvantage playing playing Sunday and there was a team last year I know that played Sunday in the wild card and then played Saturday in the divisional. I remember it. I remember this. I remember having the conversation on the show. I could be wrong. In my mind's eye,
I don't think you're wrong.
Yeah,
I believe you.
So that's where you stand on that front with that stuff. Monday Night Football in the playoffs.
TV, like it. Practical standpoint, don't like it. Now, if the Browns are the team that, if we can somehow find a way to win our division and we end up, being a high ranker in the AFC and host a divisional round game and that we play the team coming off short week, then I'll like it.
Then you're going to love it.
Then I'm going to really like it.
Then you're thrilled.
Yeah.
You're
pumped.
absolutely thrilled with it at that point. I'm with you on the super as well, not necessarily super. We will get to the scores coming up in the 2 o'clock hour of the program. Of course, this is a fun weekend in the NFL. When you think about some of the games that are out there, well, we talked yesterday a little bit about Rams and Bucks in the 425 window, which is the game. That would be in an ideal world, from an NBC perspective, that's your Sunday night game of the week. But their game's pretty dang good too. When you talk about Packers and 49ers. Oh, geez. How's Pedro feel? I mean, we'll get it in the scores, but I mean, yeah. I mean that is a very nice game, and also the Chargers and Chiefs play in the afternoon. And from a divisional standpoint, Cincinnati at Pittsburgh. Both teams 1-1. I kind of get the feeling talking to people this week that there's a little bit of panic in the air in the Steel City.
I think so.
I do. I kind of
so.
feel like it's over there. That for them, this is a big one. It's a big one for them, and I think for Burrow it's going to be tough to survive.
Is
Mr.
Watt
Hayward.
going to play?
He's open to it. He's open to playing, so I'm sure he'll give it a go.
Yeah.
And they still have the problem for them is the biggest problem Cincinnati has isn't necessarily on the outside; it's in the middle. They can't protect in the middle, and Cam Hayward
and to it. Yeah.
So that's a full day.
Pretty good. Yeah. My dad. Nerd. Chesty Gibby shouldn't be Chesty because he said Kyle's on the hot seat. Bad take, Gibby.
Only 2 games in, kids. A lot of football to be played.
A lot of football to be played, Gibby.
He is as far from the hot seat as any coach in the NFL.
It's early.
Well, as far.
Yes.
Yeah. I thought you said
there may be a group of people that
he has
are
the coolest seat.
Yes.
He is in a group of people that have the coolest seat. Our guy is in that group.
Yes.
I would say John Harbaugh is in that group. I would say that McVay is certainly in that group. Andy Reid
still in that group.
Tomlin's in that group.
Arians
feels
is
like
in that group.
Pete Carroll's in that group. Arians, I'm fine with that as well.
Sean Payton.
Yeah, those are all
the keys.
Pretty cool seats. It's the air, the cool air is. It's those. You have a heated or cool seats. It's the cool seats.
Yeah,
hit the button.
Blowing
in the
some
blue.
nice air. In fact, it might be so cold they're wearing fur.
You could.
Yeah,
may have to do that. Gibbe is going to be quite chesty. It's his segment.
Kids.
A little over under for Gibbe, who is on. I mean, we've never had him have this type of success at anything really.
He's on a heater.
It's
and
an
you know
unbelievable heater.
Gibbe, what's the rule? What's the rule when you're on a heater, Gibbe?
You like that line, Gibbe?
It's totally true, by the way.
Gibbe, what's the rule when you're on a heater?
Just keep going.
You never walk away.
Never walk away
from a heater.
There you go. All right.
Keep going, baby.
We'll do that. We'll do a little fantasy advice as well. Get you some keys to victory coming up. You listen to Cleveland Browns Daily on 850 ESPN Cleveland. Welcome back into Cleveland Browns Daily. EOX Vantage has that local presence and the global footprint that you want. Trusted by some of the world's biggest brands. This is a testimonial from EOX Vantage client Tom Daugherty. He's the Senior Vice President of Specialty Programs at the NIP Group. He says, quote, I have a saying about working with EOX Vantage. If you dream it, they can build it. We generate lots of ideas for them to carry out. They've implemented everything we've come up with. We brainstorm ways to innovate and improve our company. We use EOX Vantage for their infrastructure, coding, and programming capabilities, technological expertise, and experience working with the global brands. Absolutely thrilled with the partnership, and you will be too. And you can learn more about EOX Vantage by visiting www.eoxvantage.com or call 216-298-1616. Again, that's 216-298-16 and 16. Okay, time for a little over-under fun.
Indeed it is.
And before we get into this, so what would you say like the overall records have been on over-unders in the years that we've done over-unders?
Do you want me to actually look it up?
No, you don't have to. Just do it off the top of your head. Like, how close do you think it was last year? Not, right.
Not even.
Not, right, not.
Like,
not.
if we were to add up our total over-unders for the last 3 seasons.
Yeah.
Like, I could go 0 for this season. He could go 100%, and he's still not close.
Still not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But.
And yet.
What have you done for me
2
lately?
weeks in, Gibby, it's heat. So it's so
the
much
Gibby Express leaving the station.
I think I'm cute.
Oh, God.
Sexy.
Oh, no.
I've got the looks that drives the girls wild. I've got the moves that really move them. I said chills up and down their spine.
He's got his whiskey bomb.
I'm not your boy toy.
Oh, my gosh. Right.
He's just a chesty boy.
I'm not your boy toy. Boy toy.
No, what's
Gibby.
this?
Oh, my God.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
I've got to right these wrongs. It's the people deserve better out of me. We can't have this. Look at him. The guy's the king of the world.
Oh, no.
He's got a Martinelli sponsorship.
The taste
Here,
is all
talking to the
victory.
mic.
Taste is all victory.
Oh, my God.
U.S. grown.
Oh, jeez.
Just like Gibby.
Just like Gibby. Marone.
Oh, my God. It was even more spectacular than I had ever dreamed.
Where do we go from here?
Off the air.
Where's the peak?
Next level's next. Jeez. Oh, my gosh. Well, and with good reason, 4-1 backed up with a 4-1 for Gibby, who through 2 weeks of over-unders is sitting at 8 up and 2 down. Zegura. A 2-3 backed up with a 2-3.
I got to stop chasing. I got to just go with what I believe.
You can't worry.
I already chased Gibby, and it cost me 1. It already cost me 1.
Unbelievable.
Oh, my God. The bucket hat.
He's got it all going.
The shades.
The shades.
The Shawn Michaels
Martinelli.
entrance music. He's just a chesty boy.
The whiskey Bob disguised as
Unbelievable.
Martinelli. Jeez.
It's really
All right.
something.
All right. Time for a little over-under.
Over or under?
All right, boys. You guys have hit this. Both of you have hit this one both weeks.
Doesn't feel like I've hit anything.
Well, you have. And it's the one we always start with because it is the key to so much of what we do. It is the over-under total yards. Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt. We start to be the man, you got to beat the man. We start with the champion's prerogative. 169.5
Total
Chubb
yards.
Total yards. No research.
I do what I do.
I do what I do. Racist. No one. I'll give this kid credit on one thing. No one can navigate a tablet as fast as you. I've never seen anybody close, and I think my kids do it. Not even close. How quickly you can navigate a tablet. Sorry, Gibby. Should have taken your airtime.
It's okay. Praise him. He does one thing right on occasion.
Well, the scores, I do quite a few things right. Quite frankly, kids are right now going to college, crypto, whatever you want. Invest it how
Not
you
a good
want.
day for
folks.
crypto yesterday.
Oh,
A little
boy.
bit of a dicey
A
day.
little bit of a dicey day. That's right. Buy the dips.
I'm going to go under.
Under 169.5. Segura.
Running backs on the season in 2 games have totaled 174 total yards against the Bears. That's in 2 games.
Yep. Very good.
Under.
Under
It's okay to ride the coattails.
169.5.
Over or under?
Odell Beckham Jr. Total yards. 101.5.
101.5?
That's right.
I thought you were going to come with something like reasonable. I thought 67.5 was a reasonable number.
He's going to have a day. He's going to have a day. Do you not have enthusiasm? Do you not
Can I
believe in
see a
him?
question?
Do you not believe in
Sure,
Odell
sure,
Beckham
Sure
Jr.?
doesn't sound like
Doesn't
it.
seem like
Can I
you
see a
believe in
question?
Odell Beckham Jr.
What does O stand for?
Offense.
Over. Let's go.
Let's go. Get it.
I'm in the overs club, baby.
This is too easy. This is a Bootsy special. Over.
Oh, I thought
Over.
he was going to chastise
Nope.
me for not having
No.
enthusiasm.
No.
and then come with a subtle under.
I'm happy to follow your lead on that.
Good. Happy to have you.
All right, this is one where you have it's your pride gets with you on this one, and we will have to go against trend on this one. By the way, next,
Over or under?
the dreaded sacks, interceptions, fumbles.
At some point, I have to be right.
Do the opposite. Rookie quarterback
Okay.
here all the week. Oh, he can't get any pass rush. Can't get any pass rush. Gibbe, 5.1.
Come on, dude. These are ridiculous.
That is an insane
4.5 is a
number.
perfectly reasonable number.
5.1.
I will go under.
Under, Gibbe.
6? Like 6 is
6.
a ton. Like the Panthers dominated last
Yeah.
night. They had 5 sacks, no turnovers, even though they were robbed. Should have had one.
Yeah. Listen, if you don't like it, just do the under, and you're safe, pal. If you don't believe in this defense, it's fine.
I do
Thought you'd
believe in
be
this
8 and
defense.
Rookie quarterback, first
Saw
start.
you're 8-2.
No, you're 8-2 by not believing in this defense. I've had enthusiasm every week. If 5 is the number, under. Ugh. By the way, happy to lose that one because it means that we win this game handily.
Next.
Over or under?
Outrageous.
It was outrageous.
4.5 is a totally reasonable one.
4.5 would probably been the right number.
If you want to do that, I'll go over.
No, I won't do that. You cannot. They've been set. They're in ink. It's not a felt tip, but it's not
let me tell you
erasable
something.
either.
You have a lot of running your sports book. You've got a lot of exposure. That line is not going to generate a 50-50 action split that you.
Well,
so
we'll
want.
see. We'll see.
I think he's okay with that.
I think I'm doing all right to this point. Did I say next already?
Yep.
I don't know. Gibbe's cleaning up.
Baker completion percentage. Who's going first?
Zegura.
Zegura. 72.5.
What was it?
72.5. Segura. Leading the NFL in an 80% clip, 90% last week. Just a little pitch and catch. Little pitch and catch.
Over. Quick passing game, 24-25 on the season. Over.
Over. Give it.
Over as well.
Well,
He just says whatever I say.
he's
This is
Oh,
outrageous.
wait a minute. Hold on. I believe that you have followed me twice.
it's a
I
strong
believe
strategy
that,
considering his lead, to be fair.
Screw it. Defense. Over. Let's go.
Wait, which one did you change? The sacks?
Yeah.
You're going 6? Oh, jeez. Well, 5.5 would do it. All right, so now you're over
You
there.
can't
Already
half of it.
sweating.
You can't
Week
Half a
3.
sack.
An individual.
Oh, yeah,
can
and
get
as a
that,
team,
not a
there's
team.
no way. You got to
Week
get to
3
6.
already
That's
sweating.
true.
Already in his head.
All right.
Over or under?
The actual Gibbe, 45.5. Gibby's gotten this twice. Segura's missed it twice.
What was 45?
45.
I'm going under.
5. Gibby. Don't chase.
I'm in the overs club. 28-20. Let's go.
That'd do it.
Boy, wouldn't it?
That would do it in more ways than one. All right. Good job.
Oh, I know it's a good job. I don't worry about
I
things.
think we all know that you know it's a good job.
U.S. grown, baby.
With your whiskey bomb.
Is this a catalog look that's happening right
Yes, of course it is.
Yeah.
Of course it's a catalog look.
now? Looks tremendous.
All right, well, give me a little. What do you got on fantasy this weekend? What's percolating for you?
You know, this is a week, as I said, matchups are critical in fantasy football. Matchups tell you where to go. And right now, Danny Dimes, Sterling Shepard, Slayton, even Saquon against the Falcons. Load them up. Let's go. The Seattle Vikings game. Load everybody up and run, don't walk. If Alexander Madison is on your waiver wire, pick him up. He could be starting. Dalvin Cook did not practice all week this week, so I like that one there. And then another one that I like on Sunday Night Football, Deebo Samuel. Keep riding that hot hand. He has been electric thus far for the 49ers.
Who are they running it with the Niners? Who's going to carry it?
Hopefully Elijah Mitchell. I will have to get the practice report if he returned today, but that's who they would like to be running the ball with.
Yeah.
And he's done solid since
A
coming.
lot of
in and taking over.
overdrafting of Trey Sermon.
Yes, they are not pleased with Trey Sermon.
They
thus
are
far.
not. They are not. Well, look, the same thing happened last year at Ohio State. He was not the starter. Didn't take the job until more than halfway through the season.
Yeah.
So, yeah. All right. Coming up next, keys to a victory.
Oh.
Before I do that, though, Browns fans can win big with digital scratch-off game brought to you by Ohio Lottery on clevelandbrowns.com and the Browns social channels. Fans get to play once per day throughout the season by digitally scratching off a virtual card for chances to win great prizes like Team Shop gift cards and tickets to future games. For more information, log on to promotions.clevelandbrowns.com. Keys to victory up next. You're listening to Cleveland Browns Daily on 850 ESPN Cleveland. All right, welcome back into Cleveland Browns Daily on a Football Friday edition of the program. Bears here on Sunday. They will bring one of the fiercest defenses in all of the National Football League. They will bring a rookie quarterback as well. And it looks to be a flawless day down at the stadium if you pay attention to the weather reports, my friend.
It's going to be a beaut. It's going to be a beaut. Some football weather, nice little, maybe a little crispness in the air. At a high 60s, low 70s. I think it's perfect. It's going to be perfect.
It's absolutely perfect. And perfect is how I would describe the time that we've spent with JC Tretter on this program.
What a
lot of fun breaking down the Game of Thrones back in the day, and now get to talk to, unfortunately not in person, but on the phone. JC, how you doing, bud?
I'm doing well. How you guys doing?
We're doing all right, pal. Perfect day. Odell back. A Sunday game to look forward to against a historic franchise like the Bears. We're into week 3 now, pal, and in terms of what you guys are able to do offensively, are you where you want to be?
Yeah, I think we're doing what we want to do. The work's not done. I think teams that are as good as they end up being at the end of the season in week 3 are usually not going to end up being too good. So I think we're progressing really well. We're doing the things we want to do, but there's a ton of work left to be done, and we're not nearly where we want to be by the time the playoffs roll around.
JC, before we continue down this serious line of discussion, I need to know, was the film room time utilized for this Spitzer ad with Jack Conklin and Joel Bitonio, and quickly, as the quarterback of the offensive line, your thoughts on the performance of the man directly to your left and two to your right?
Yeah, we've definitely covered it. It was an important video. I think it was the elephant in the room for the past week. So we've dissected the film. There were some things given to both of them that they need to improve on, but we've covered it extensively.
Now, if only one person can get the Emmy, Jack or Joel, who's getting JC Tretter's vote?
It's a Clio, I believe.
The Clio.
The Clio for advertising, yeah.
I would say probably Joel. I would question Jack's ability to actually throw a football with that hand gesture he made. I wouldn't say a football is exactly fitting in that type of hand. So I go with Joel.
I was personally just floored with Joel's. I mean, almost a Baryshnikov type grace that he had.
Oh, his air guitar was very nice.
He's just so smooth
Rhythm.
and elegant, I would say, with the movements, JC.
That's right.
Oh, Joel's built for those moments. So
It's built for those moments.
Any company listening, if you need a commercial made, Joel Bitonio is your guy.
That's your guy.
Yeah. He is. By the way, what is the current shuffleboard hierarchy? Something I always am very curious about with the offensive line, and I know Case gets involved as well.
Yeah, so I think by the end of it, Joel was coming on strong. I think me and him were a 1A, 1B, and then probably Case 3, Jack 4. Okay. Well, it was probably how it broke down. We haven't played in a while. The in-season schedule is a little tighter than the training camp schedule.
Yes.
Training camp, you get a little extra time to dive into a nice long game of shuffleboard. But in season, that's a little tough to squeeze in.
So you're the reigning champion. That's what I took away from that.
That's
what I
known,
heard.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm trying to be humble, but yes.
You don't need to be humble on this show.
Not on this program.
That's right. The ball's not going to spike itself, JC.
Well, I don't need a 15-yard penalty. So
just don't spike it in the direction of anybody.
That's right.
And I think
you'll be okay.
And I think you're going to be okay. All right, JC, you mentioned this offense and kind of what you've seen. Take the turnovers away, which I know you can't do, but I know that's the plan to take them away. Incredibly efficient, and the guy right behind you leading the NFL in completion percentage. What have you seen from Baker here early on in his second season in this offense?
Yeah, Baker's been great. He played through some discomfort last week. I think it was 18 of 20, I think, or just
19
a
of
crazy
21.
completion
Yeah,
percent. 19 of 20. So when he's doing that, we're moving along. And I think efficiency is the right word because I think we've been extremely efficient running the football as well. And we've just been doing all the things right, and we just have to keep going down that road. But it's been a good start for us offensively.
Did you tell him that what he did going in, pop out, back out there? He basically pulled a JC Tretter. That's what it's known here in Cleveland.
That's right.
It's like I might miss a snap here. I'm in great agony. No, I'm tough. I'm fine. I'm right back in. That was his first JC. You have many documented JCs at this point.
I told Baker to leave the tackling to the other 10 guys. So I told him to take those plays off. We'll handle the tackling from here on out.
That's certainly a good way to look at it. JC, obviously you're managing a load as well when it comes to your health and week to week. What type of challenge has that been for you through the weeks in terms of the lack of practice time, but then always up there on game day?
Yeah, I think as I've gotten older, I've understood what I need to be ready to play. I've been able to learn how to prepare more mentally than physically, and instead letting my body recover as much as it needs. But taking all those mental reps, really getting the playbook, really studying all the film, so I'm ready to go when that happens. But no, it's everybody's banged up, everybody has bumps and bruises, so I just try to be ready to go on Sundays.
What's it like getting to have Bill Callahan for a second season in that room with you guys? A very veteran-laden group to begin with. I know Wyatt's kind of young in terms of his starting career. Same with Jed in his second season. But getting to kind of have the continuity that you have up there, Hub back as well, Nick Harris back from a year ago, Blake Hance in the mix. What's it like to have that continuity, though, with the coaching staff with Callahan and Peters?
Just give me 1 second. I got an ambulance about to pass me on the road here, so I don't want to.
Great center, great citizen, pulling over.
Yeah, I just want to make sure you weren't being pulled over. That wasn't the police.
No, I'm okay. I don't need that story. I don't need that story starting. I am not being pulled over.
You're not being
Simple ambulance driving by.
We would have talked him out of it live on the air.
Yes, we would have. You're safe around here, Jason.
That's right. Yes, indeed. But anyways,
it's
Coach
great
Callahan.
having the group back. Yeah, it's really great. Bill is a really good offensive line coach. It's really good working with him and talking through looks and, watching him kind of dissect the defense and drawing up plays that play off of each other to help us late in the game and understanding what the defense is going to shift to based off what we do. So very, very bright coach. Excited to be working with him another year.
JC, what type of bounce does it provide for the entire team that you get the word officially? My hunch is you guys probably had a better idea about this earlier in the week, but that Odell would be making his return to the field on Sunday.
Yeah, we're excited. He's a dynamic playmaker. We're excited to get him back out there. I think he's going to bring a real pop of energy to the offense and to the team as a whole. And just kudos to him. Rehabbing is not fun. It is not easy. And the work he put in since getting hurt last year to now has been extremely impressive. The timeline he's been on, you see the work he's done. So a ton of credit goes to Odell for being ready to go, and we're just really excited to have him back out there.
Now, we don't get to be at practice. Nobody gets to be at practice. You guys do, though. What's he looked like? Everybody I've talked to said he kind of looks spectacular is the word that I've heard a lot, and he's done some spectacular things. What have you seen from him as a guy that we haven't seen since that opening play down in Cincinnati?
Yeah, he looks great. He looks great. Again, just really excited to have him back out there. I know he's excited to be back out there too. Odell loves playing. Odell loves competing. So getting him back out there and letting him loose and letting him play, I think the entire team is just excited to see what he could do.
When we mentioned in the film room looking at the commercial of your cohorts there on the offensive line, and we talked about the man to your left. The man to your right, it seems every game, and famous last year for his somersault. I've seen spin moves in the game.
On a spin
move. Are those little Easter eggs in the film room you look forward to, and you see Wyatt out there with his nimble activity?
Yeah, you never know exactly what he's going to pull off. So you're never going to know on the field. So whenever you put the film on after the game, it's always interesting to take a peek over to the right side and see exactly what Wyatt's up to throughout the game.
So you guys have 7 rushing touchdowns through 2 games, leading the NFL in that category. It's the most since the Cowboys had 8 through 2 games back in 1971. Is that something that you guys take a lot of pride in? Because when you're running the football in, it's an imposition of your will on an opponent.
Yeah, no, we're definitely, we just want to put points on the board. We just want to help the team win. And sometimes we're going to be throwing it in. Sometimes we're going to be running it in. Whenever we get either play call, we're going to go out there and block it to the best of our abilities. So it's been great so far. We're off to a really good start running the football. But however we get that ball in the end zone, we're good with it.
Speaking of blocking to the best of your abilities, Nick Chubb's 26-yard touchdown run, it is not often that on a wide zone, no one is touched. He is untouched. He gets to just run his track. Is that one that you guys chalk away as, oh, this was pretty much flawless execution here?
Yeah, I think everybody did their job really well. And we've had we had one up in Kansas City where we had another kind of walk in for Nick. You don't get many of those at this level. So whenever you can get a untouched touchdown, those are always kind of special plays that everybody did the right thing to get to that point.
Akeem Hicks, Goldman, Khalil Mack, Quinn. This is a very good defensive front, one that can get after the quarterback. They've been very tough to run on. Roquan Smith, the excellent linebacker at that next level. What have you seen from this Bears team, and what's the challenge that they really present that you guys need to answer on Sunday?
Yeah, I think extremely talented group, extremely physical group, and we have to meet their physicality. They're a really talented defense. A lot of talented players, and we have to, raise our level to be ready for all that, both in the run game and the pass game. Khalil Mack still a dominant edge rusher. Akeem Hicks, a dominant interior rusher, and they just have a ton of depth as well. So it's going to be a battle all game, and we're going to have to be ready to go.
JC, what was it like having the fans back last Sunday?
Yeah, it's awesome. Last year was tough on everybody, and having them back was just really great. Great to have that energy, that excitement. I think when I drove down there to get to the game, that was the most crowded and busy that the stadium has been that early in the morning. So you can feel the excitement around the city, and it's just great to get everybody back in and cheering us on.
When you guys came out of the tunnel for the kickoff and you saw that stadium pretty darn full. I mean, it was the most full I recall in 9 years at a kick for a Cleveland Browns game. Did you just file away in your mind that, man, Stefanski's got some real juice because he got those people in the seats now?
There.
He says at home his kids don't listen to him. But I'll tell you what, the people of Cleveland, they listen to him, JC.
Yeah, it was great. You want that energy running out of the tunnel. You want that energy on the first kickoff. So getting everybody in early in their seats and ready to go. It is home field advantage for a reason. It's having 60,000 plus people in there, on your back cheering for you and giving you that boost. So the more we can get in there, the earlier they can get in, the better.
Buddy, thanks for the time.
A
Stay
pleasure.
healthy. Good luck on Sunday.
Appreciate it. Have a good one, guys.
All right, that's our fantastic center and great friend of the program.
Yes.
The great JC Tretter. Keys to Victory up next. You're listening to Cleveland Browns Daily on 850 ESPN Cleveland. Just imagine kicking back in the fall evenings in your very own hot tub. Now imagine actually being able to afford one. Northeast Factory Direct buys hot tubs by the truckload. You get a 6-person hot tub with the lounger and the lights. Still afford your summer activities. And you think owning a hot tub would be a pain? Would not. Not at Northeast Factory Direct. Those hot tubs come with the exclusive hardtop covers. You don't have to worry about safety or convenience. Plus, you're going to get a lifetime warranty on that cover. If you're looking for a way to stay active, they have the amazing swim spas. You can keep those open year-round in the winter months. Get that exercise. They're fantastic. See for yourself. West 140th Street in Cleveland, Lakeland Boulevard in Euclid, or Freeway Drive in Macedonia, or shop them online anytime at northeastfactorydirect.com. Time for Keys to the Victory. Dr. Z.
All right, for the Browns taking on the Chicago Bears, the keys to victory, well, a couple of them pretty straightforward, to be honest with you. And number one is let's take care of the football and let's take it away, the turnover battle. Why is the turnover battle so important? Because, frankly, it correlates directly with winning when you are Kevin Stefanski-led football team. In 2020, the Browns 10-0 when winning or tying the turnover battle. Week 1 this year, they lose the turnover battle. They lose the game. Week 2, neutral in turnover battle, they win the game. It is a ridiculously simple key to victory, but when the Browns are the better team on paper, as they are once again on Sunday, it can be the one great equalizer. The Browns have not lost a game under head coach Kevin Stefanski in which they have produced at least 2 takeaways. They are 7-0, nor have they lost a game in which they did not have a single giveaway. The Browns play with a clean sheet. They will win. The Bears, week 1, lose 34-14. They are -2 in the turnover battle. Week 2, they win. They were +3 in the turnover battle. The Browns need to capitalize on their takeaway opportunities, post a clean sheet, they win. That quick passing game I mentioned.
Yeah.
Baker Mayfield, when he's getting the ball out in under than 2.5 seconds on those quick passing plays, getting it out in an average of 1.83 seconds, you can't pressure into those circumstances. It leads to a critical neutralizing of the pass rush of Khalil Mack and Quinn. On such plays, Baker, 24 of 25 for 260 and a touchdown, leads the NFL in both completion percentage and yards per attempt on quick throws. Only Mayfield and Patrick Mahomes are producing 10-plus yards per attempt on quick hitters. That's the command. This should slow down a Chicago pass rush, which pressured Joe Burrow into 4 sacks and 3 picks in week 2. By the way, they would have been over right there, 7. Number 3.
Glad you changed that.
Aggressive defense, blitz, bull rush. Get off the field on third downs. The highlight for the Browns week 2, other than Malcolm Smith's pick, it was Grant Delpit's sack on that blitz, which came against an inexperienced rookie quarterback. Well, Justin Fields is making his first start for the Bears on Sunday. I expect Woods to crank up the heat. Against the Bengals, Fields was blitzed on 9 plays. On those plays, he was 2 of 6 passing for 13 yards and an interception. He was also sacked twice. So that means you've got 2 plays for 13 yards. You have 2 sacks for more than negative 13 yards. You have an interception, a couple of incompletions, and then a few scrambles. Only 1 of those 9 plays resulted in a first down for the Bears. So I think coming after Fields, that should give the Browns a great opportunity to cripple the Bears offense in the young quarterback's first NFL start. Even without the blitz, get that pressure from the interior. People are calling people out. We need more help up there on the front. In the middle of this defense, the Malik's getting after the quarterback. They've got 14 of 17 pressures allowed by the Bears' offensive line have been allowed by their offensive line's interior, the 2 guards and the center. So I look for Jackson and McDowell to push the pocket, thereby making Fields uncomfortable. And then we've talked about it already. Get off the field on third downs. That's been the Achilles heel for the Browns defense, 31st in the NFL in that regard. Cleaning that up, they win this game. Take care of the ball, get off on third downs. The Browns are going to win.
That's the word of the day, right? Clean.
Clean.
We've done a lot of great things so far in the first 2 games this season. We have yet to play a clean football game.
We haven't played, right, 60 minutes.
60 minutes of clean football. You do that, you're going to beat the Bears because, frankly, you're better than the Bears. And that's with giving them full credit for what they are defensively, which is a full day. They are a full day defensively. But from a complete team standpoint, the fact that they're starting a rookie quarterback, all of those factors, you play clean, you win. We'll get some perspective behind enemy lines with Jeff Dickerson. Covers the Bears for ESPN's NFL Nation. That is coming up next. You're listening to Cleveland Browns Daily on 850 ESPN Cleveland. Beer for my friends at Raising Cane's, and Raising Cane's presents the other rules of football. Rule 1, serving cooked-to-order chicken finger meals always earns you extra points. And Rule 2, there is no penalty for excessive cane sauce dipping. Raising Cane's is ready to tackle all your chicken finger game day needs when it comes to winning game day. Cane's rules. It's one love and a proud sponsor of Ohio State athletics. Go Bucks. And with that, we head behind enemy lines. Jeff Dickerson joins us, ESPN NFL Nation Bears reporter and host on ESPN Radio, Dickerson and Hood. Good to talk to you, Jeff. Thanks for the time. Let's start with, obviously, Justin Fields making his return to the Buckeye State, where he did a lot of winning. In fact, never lost a game that was played in this state. The expectation probably a little bit different this time around. What have you made of him this week and the preparation for this game? What do you expect from him on Sunday?
You know, he's a very calm guy. You would think that someone making their regular season starting debut would be a little nervous, a little jumpy, but he's not that at all. Now, that doesn't mean it's going to be great on Sunday for the Bears or for Justin Fields, but I feel like he goes into this game with a lot of confidence. So can the Bears put him in the right position to succeed? That remains to be seen. The Bears have had some, as I'm sure you're aware, some offensive issues the last couple of years with their game planning and their approach and such. But, you know, my expectation is that they will try to run a lot of RPOs with him. They'll move the pocket. They'll try to let him use his legs and his feet, which is his biggest strength right now. And then, you know, take some shots down the field. I mean, just watching Justin Fields since he got to Chicago, it's the same guy you saw at Ohio State. You know, he's a big guy. He's got a big arm, throws a good deep ball down the field. And the Bears haven't really had a whole lot of explosive plays offensively for the first 2 weeks, and they're going to kind of hope that's going to change if they can give him the proper protection. The offensive line for the Bears was much better in week 2 against the Bengals than it was in week 1 against the Rams. But there's just a lot of excitement in Chicago. The fans have been waiting for this since the moment they drafted him. It's too bad it has to come at the expense of Andy Dalton's injury, but if Justin Fields plays well and keeps playing well, he's never given this job up, barring an injury to himself.
When you look at kind of the yards per catch for this team, yards per attempt for both quarterbacks, not just Dalton, and I know he hadn't really pushed it down the field. Fields certainly tried to do that. What do you make of just kind of the fact that, you know, Allen Robinson's got 50 yards through 2 games. Mooney's the leading receiver. I think he's at 90 yards through 2 games.
Yeah, well, and Mooney especially with that speed. I mean, ideally you want to use him down the field. But the Bears just haven't been able to do it. Now, in week 1, you know, in fairness to them a little bit, they went through a ton of left tackles. Jason Peters got hurt. Then Larry Borum, who was a 5th-round pick out of Missouri, he gets hurt. So they were down to really was their 4th-string left tackle because Tevin Jenkins, their 2nd-round pick out of Oklahoma State, was supposed to be their starting left tackle day 1. He never had a single practice in training camp and had back surgery. So they were down to like their 4th left tackle against Aaron Donald, against the Rams and their defense. So that was problematic. I thought last week there were chances to take shots down the field, but they just didn't really do it. I mean, Allen Robinson, now, so if you look at just the numbers, what they won't tell you is that Justin Fields had Allen Robinson on a beautifully thrown deep pass into the end zone, and Robinson uncharacteristically dropped it.
Yep.
So they did try to extend the field. They did have a play dialed up that worked. The execution just wasn't there, but that's the thing with the Bears. I mean, you want to feel like, okay, here comes Justin Fields. Things are going to get a lot better offensively, but they always find a way to disappoint you. You know, I'll give you guys a quick story. You know, in the summer, everyone's like, look at these tight ends. Oh, Cole Kmet and Jimmy Graham and Jesse James had a really good camp after they, got him from the Lions. And Cole Kmet had 1 target last week, and Jimmy Graham had none. So it's like, well, wait a minute. You got these guys. Are you going to use them? And that's always the thing that you just can't predict with the Bears. Going in, they always say the right thing. You feel like they've got a good game plan. But when the game goes on, they just, for whatever reason, never seem to live up to their standards. So, yeah, I think the yards per pass play is a big concern, and that's got to get better if the Bears want to have these explosive plays that are going to be good enough to beat the good teams like the Browns.
Jeff Dickerson is our guest, ESPN NFL Nation, Bears reporter and a host on ESPN Radio as well. Jeff, I can't even imagine how popular Fields is in that town. I would assume he's as popular as any athlete in Chicago at the moment. And that's certainly saying something because you got a lot of good ones over there. How popular is he amongst his own team, and not necessarily, oh yeah, we really like him, but we believe in him? Has that something, Ben, that you guys have seen throughout camp and now going into him making his first NFL start on Sunday?
I think they do believe in him. Now, it is a little more difficult for us to sort of ascertain that because the locker room's not open. When the locker room is open, you can go up to everybody and have a private conversation and really kind of get their gauge. Like, hey, what's up with Fields? I mean, are you really believing this? And they'll tell you off the record, yeah or no. And my guess is most of the guys would have said yeah. So we're operating at a little bit of a disadvantage as far as sharing real locker room reaction. But everything that we can gather is, yeah, that they've believed in him for a long time. I mean, David Montgomery a couple weeks ago, when Fields was, of course, still the backup to Andy Dalton, said the guy's special. He's going to be a special player. And there was no disrespect to Andy Dalton. Now, Andy Dalton is on the downside of his career, but I can tell you as a guy, like walking into a locker room as a teammate, he's very good. And they like him personally very much. Now, I think most guys would agree that Justin Fields is going to give them the best shot to win, which is what all that matters at the end of the day. But I think there's genuine excitement in the building, from the front office to the coaching staff to the players, to see what Justin Fields can do. I mean, guys, it's only been 70 years since the Bears have had a franchise quarterback. And so it's like, I think it's time, and hopefully for their sake, this is the guy to do it, because I really think that in terms of having what it takes to be that franchise quarterback, I'm not a quarterback guru, I'm not a quarterback's coach, but I would say based on what I've seen, Justin Fields has everything you want. Now it's just a matter of can they develop him properly.
And that will be the question, and you hope that one day the Bears get as good as you talked about, that quarterback drought. Identifying quarterbacks, maybe Fields is the one, as they are at identifying linebackers, because they've got another great one in Roquan Smith, the anchor in the middle of that defense. And this is a team that, while they bring Fields along, and they've got Montgomery and Robinson and Mooney, but it seems that it's the defense, and it was the defense, 4 takeaways, a touchdown by Roquan last week that got it done. And where do you rank this one in terms of Bears defenses? How good can this one be?
Yeah, and they were horrendous in week 1, by the way.
Yeah.
I mean, horrendous against the Rams. We're talking about busted coverage after busted coverage. So they needed that bounce-back performance against Cincinnati last week. I don't know where they're at. I felt going into the year that they were maybe like a 10 to 12 ranked defense, right? I didn't think they were a top 10 defense, but there's enough star power at each level with Akeem Hicks and Khalil Mack and Eddie Jackson, but he's very hit or miss, but he is a former Pro Bowl player. I thought there was enough talent there where they could be, hovering around the top 10 mark. And then that Rams game happened, and I was like, oh my goodness, this is terrible. Last week was more reassuring, but I think you're going to learn a lot about the Bears defense against the Browns and those running backs and Baker Mayfield and that offensive line and those receivers. I think this is going to be the real barometer for the Bears defensively. But mark my words here, the Bears aren't going anywhere unless the defense carries this team. The offense isn't going to do it. Justin Fields or no Justin Fields. The Bears have been so flighty on offense that you can't say that, okay, guys, here we go. The offense is going to score 35 points and lead you to a victory. That almost never happens against good teams. So I am just like everyone else. I want to see what the Bears defensively can do against Cleveland this weekend, because if they play like they did in Game 2, Bears have a shot. If it's like Game 1, this one will be over before halftime on Sunday.
And part of that will be the play of the cornerbacks. And Jalen Johnson has been excellent thus far. He stands, I think, Pro Football Focus' number 3 graded corner. But the other two, Kendall Vildor and Duke Shelley in the slot, have been picked on a little bit in the early going. What can you tell us about this trio of corners and really the great play of Johnson and right now the so-so play of the other two?
And don't forget the safeties, too. I mentioned Eddie Jackson. He's had some terrible moments. And then Tashawn Gibson, their other starting safety, he went backwards on the report yesterday. We're waiting to see when the Bears put this out, but he had a hamstring injury. Obviously, it happened on Wednesday. We talked to Matt Nagy before practice on Wednesday when he gave us Justin Fields news. He didn't talk yesterday. So there's been no update on Tashawn Gibson. He did not practice yesterday.
Okay.
So they might have to go to the Andre Houston Carson or Deion Bush or someone like that at the safety spot. But, yeah, Jalen Johnson's having a good second year so far. But like you said, Kendall Vildor, a little shaky. Duke Shelley was not their nickel in week 1. That was Marquis Christian. and they're still kind of evaluating that position because no one has jumped up and won that job. I would say if you're looking for the weakness in the Bears defense, that's where it is. It's their secondary. Robert Quinn had a much better game against Cincinnati. He's off to a better start. Of course, there's always going to be Khalil Mack. You mentioned Roquan Smith. Danny Trevathan is out right now. They're playing Alec Ogletree, Akeem Hicks up front, Bilal Nichols up front. These guys are some serious players. But, yeah, that secondary certainly is going to give them some concern, especially if the nickel and Kindle Vildor don't find a way to improve their play, because thus far, through 2 weeks, it just hasn't been good enough.
Jeff, how do you handicap this one from the Bears' perspective?
I think Justin Fields is going to have to do a couple special things to win this game. I really do. It's possible. I mean, he can run so well, and I think that's tough. That's going to be tough for the Browns, because just when you think you got him, or just when you think a play's over, he can find a way to extend it, and not just extend it by a couple of yards, but pick up like 10 to 15 yards. But I picked the Browns to win. On the road, I don't like that for the Bears. Justin Fields' first start. There's going to be some mistakes. Obviously, that's inevitable. And I just don't know where their defense is at from 1 week to the other. But if I felt better about the Bears offensively, just with the other supporting cast members, I could maybe see them pulling the upset, but I don't see it. I think we have to turn our predictions in so early on ESPN.com. I forget what the score was I picked. I think it was like 24-20 Browns was my final score.
Great stuff, Jeff. Thanks for your time today, pal.
Thanks, guys. Enjoy the game.
Yeah, you too, man. Jeff Dickerson, ESPN, NFL Nation, Bears reporter, and a host on ESPN Radio. Good stuff on the Chicago front. For a running back, getting extra yards is great, but ball security is always the first priority. For gamblers, keeping priorities straight also important, so make sure all your bills are paid before you spend money on fun stuff like gambling. Get more tips like this at keepitfunohio.com. Coming up next, scores. The scores. Pay attention. Cleveland Browns Daily, 850 ESPN. If your game plan for this season includes buying or selling a home, Howard Hanna Real Estate Services has you covered. Visit howardhanna.com/Go Browns today. A little segment we like to call the scores, and what I would say is you might want to pay attention.
I think you might. Right now, we're both coming off of a week in which we both went 11-5.
Ladies and gentlemen, now that they're out of their cars, let them hear.
But unlike Cheste Gibbe, we don't need music. We don't need shades. We don't need bourbon apple bombs. We expect it. We just hand the ball to the official and say, guess what? We're going to do it again. We're going to do it again. Act like you've been there.
We are the Nick Chubb.
We're the Nick Chubb of the scores.
That's right.
In all fairness, Uncle Beau has told me I've never been there before. So
that's true. You haven't. That's right. That's right.
I think I'm allowed to do whatever I want.
You are. That's true.
It's a great line from my son when I said that. Well, I haven't. Okay.
All right. Well,
so enjoy yourself. Take your victory lap.
We sit right now a combined 22 games over 500 right now.
Through
2 weeks. I believe you were 9-7 week 1.
Correct.
Which would put you at 20-12 on the young season.
Yeah.
And I would be 23-9 on the young season.
That is an embarrassing success early. Just embarrassing. All right. Let's go. Give it.
Got a full slate, kids. Week 3 in the National Football League. Kick things off. This one. Boy. Herb's not off to a great start on the schedule front. Jacksonville playing host to the Arizona Cardinals.
Here's what's alarming about his comment, where he says every week it's like we're playing Alabama. He hasn't even played the NFL equivalents of Alabama yet.
No.
Far from it.
Playing Arkansas.
Far from it.
Yeah.
Maybe a little Missouri.
Who'd they have? Houston in week 1, and then who drilled them in week 2?
Week 2 they were drilled by
Denver.
Denver drilled
Denver.
Yeah.
Like, these are not even Denver may be a fringe playoff team. I don't think so, though. And Houston is what Houston is. So he's got big problems, man. He has big problems. I mean, I think they'll put up some garbage yards on this Arizona defense because the Arizona defense isn't that great, but they're not stopping Kyler. Not in any way, shape, or form. Zona, big. 410, Urban, 2.
I just feel like that hook is there for a reason, and the reason is
oh gosh,
Arizona 410.
Oh no,
Trevor Lawrence finds Marvin Jones with 3 seconds left.
Oh no,
403.
Oh my gosh.
I may rue the day.
4 to 6, A to B.
I may rue the day.
More tweets that we're gonna get the operation sorted out.
Oh boy,
I got good buddies down there, man. I mean, I feel for them. Tough.
Arizona, one of 7 teams that are unbeaten going into week 3. And by the way, a lot of people thought that they were the 4th best team in their division.
Well, and they very well may be. I mean, they're not exactly gangbusters either, and their missed field goal.
The Titans.
They did, but they're a missed field goal at the buzzer from being 1-1.
That's right.
I just think offensively they're just going to overwhelm.
DeAndre Hopkins game time decision.
You see Rondale Moore? Cliff's got a new toy.
Am I hard of seeing?
Yeah.
No.
He's got a new toy.
I'm not.
I believe we had.
They're like twins. Him and Kyler.
They are. They're about the same size.
Yeah. It's kind of wild.
Yeah.
All right, up next, the inmate game of the week. Let's just get it out of the way right away. 0-2 Atlanta visiting 0-2 New York and the Football Giants. Let me introduce you to hot garbage for week 3, kids.
Ugh. They can go straight to hell. Ram it.
Dreamin'.
And they're not great either.
These 2 teams stink.
They're awful.
They stink.
They're better than the Falcons.
The gutless Falcons. Just gutless Falcons.
So sad.
It's so sad. You hate to see it. You hate to see it.
They should just wear the throwback every week, and maybe that'll inspire some gut.
Yeah. At some point, doesn't Kyle Pitts have to welcome himself to the National Football League? At some
5 for
point,
73 last week.
Come
Solid
on,
game.
let's get. Are we really going to have Cordarrelle Patterson is going to be the star? That's your running back. That's what we're going to do. He's their best running back. He's a fantasy.
The Falcons in fantasy points.
It's a disaster. It's an absolute disaster. Giants 7, Falcons 5.
Whoa! Gutless? You're putting it on the gutless Falcons? Wow. Didn't see that coming.
No. Same, but different.
Didn't see that coming.
No, did not.
Ram it.
Little heel turn. I like it. Up next, a big battle in the AFC North. All four teams 1-1. Bengals visiting the Pukers.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that Ben's going to play. Can he throw the ball more than 5 yards? Big question.
Well, I don't. He can't. The problem is he can't throw it 5 yards because otherwise Najee Harris would catch 15 balls a game because that's how many times he's there as the release valve and they miss him. The problem here, T. Higgins. Now that's up in the air for Cincinnati, and the real issue here is looks like Watt's going to give it a go, but the real problem is Cam Hayward and Tuitt in the middle, and they will just annihilate that Bengals offensive line. Give me the Steelers. 9. Bengals, 4.
Oh,
Same.
up next, a battle in the AFC South. By the way, I'm officially changing my vote. The worst division in the National Football League right now might be the AFC South.
Tennessee just beat Seattle.
I don't care.
It's not great.
The
It's
rest
not
of that
great.
division,
The bottom two are unbelievably bad.
I mean,
They're so bad.
I think you can put a third one in here.
Well,
the Colts, Carson Wentz did practice today. He's got 2 sprained ankles. Colts visiting Nashville, Tennessee, and the Tennessee Titans.
Can I ask a question?
yeah.
Sure.
When did the narrative of what happened with Carson Wentz change in the middle of this week? Last week it was he could have gone back in the game, decided not to.
Right.
Everybody's mad at him. McAfee saying that he leaves it all out on the field unless he's doing it. It's a complete tongue-in-cheek ruse, but that he'll do everything he can to be on the field. He
Right.
returns to practice today. He sprained both ankles. Who does that?
Right.
What's the real truth?
What's the real truth,
Dad.
Bootsy?
Dad, what's the real truth?
I ate the M&Ms. That's what I thought. Go to your room.
Go to your room.
No electronics.
Oh, boy. That worked back in the mid-'80s with me. No electronics.
It holds firm today.
And
To
now
this day.
Now there's such a variety of electronics. You've wiped out
When you shut it
many
all down.
genres of entertainment for the young people.
Oh,
But
come on, is what I would get out of him.
do
on
we
that.
know what the real story is here with Carson Wentz?
No.
No, we don't know. So we're going to have to kind of go into this one a little bit blind. I don't know if he finishes the game. If he doesn't, it sounds like a debacle. Eason, they don't like. They might start Hundley right off the practice squad. What's happening? Under those circumstances, give it to King Henry. Give it to A.J. Brown. Give it to Julio. Ain't no Tannehill tie enough. Titans, 27. Colts, 12.
Ram it.
Ram it.
Ram it. Tennessee.
Huge. Huge.
That's
Up
a
next.
talented roster to drop to 0-3.
It is.
Indies. They screwed it up, man.
You blew it, boy.
You blew it, boy.
It's a battle to stay out of the basement in the AFC West. That's right. The Chargers
Interesting phrasing.
visiting the Kansas City Chiefs. Both teams 1-1. Chiefs coming off a tough loss on Sunday Night Foosball. The Chargers, of course, losing to the Cowboys last week.
I like both these teams a lot. I'm surprised at the size of this number. I'm surprised as big as it is. Kansas City in 2 weeks has yet to cover. They have yet to cover.
It's because their defense is not good.
Their defense is
Well,
not
and that's
good.
a problem against the Chargers.
That is a problem against the Chargers. Lots, obviously, a point. I don't know what the over-under's got to be, like 70 in this one. Kansas City, 42. Chargers, 34.
Total points, 54.5.
34.
So far, the Chargers have moved the ball up and down the field. They've been the worst red zone offense in the NFL. Will they get last year's worst red zone defense in the NFL? I think I think the issue with Kansas City right now is on the defensive side of the football.
Clearly,
I think they've got a real – I don't know if we're talking about it enough. Mahomes is great. It's going to be a shootout. Chiefs, 81. They can't not cover the spread forever. Chargers, 78.
Same, but different.
All right. We move on. This one, I'm interested to hear your analysis from both of you. Which New Orleans Saints team shows up on Sunday? Jameis Winston and the Saints come marching into New England and Foxborough, a date with Belichick and company.
This is an interesting one to me.
It is.
This is one that I've gone back and forth in my mind on. So New England has beaten the Jets.
Yep.
And they've beaten Miami.
No, they lost to Miami.
They lost to Miami.
They lost to Miami, yeah.
Not impressed. Saints, 20. Patriots, 17.
Patriots 20. Saints 18.
Same, but different, but kind of.
Oh, no. Saints 16.
Oh.
16.
Oh,
16.
boy.
16.
Oh, boy.
16.
Oh, goodness.
2016. 20-16.
I think the Saints' defense is going to maybe give them some problems.
Patriots.
Are you impressed by the Patriots yet?
I think they're coming around.
I think defensively they're all right.
Well, and it's Jameis, and he came back to earth. And then the other thing, Mac, I mean, they're coming along offensively. They're coming along.
All right. We'll see how far they come.
I mean, they're going to get drilled by the Bucks. When is that? Like in 2 weeks?
Yeah.
It's next week. Is it week 4?
So they go Rams. They go Rams, Patriots.
Saints, Patriots.
I'm talking about from the Bucks' perspective. They go Rams,
yeah,
Patriots.
Yes.
Oh, we'll
Indeed.
get to that one.
Yeah.
Up next, Buffalo welcoming in the Washington football team. Washington with a few extra days of rest after their Thursday night win a week ago. Washington, Buffalo, what say you? 2 1-1s. A lot of 1-1s.
Yeah. I think Josh Allen's got to wake up at some point. 56% passer. Football team, Tyler, whatever Heineke's name is.
Or maybe
yeah.
he's coming back to earth and he's the quarterback we always thought he was.
Yeah. Buffalo ram it.
It feels like a big number.
It does.
It does feel like that defense can flummox them, but I think the Bills' D is very good, and I think that it's going to be tough for the football team to score in this one. Ram it!
Next, 1 o'clock game. Baltimore heading to Detroit. Ravens, Lions. Lamar's going to play. Which Lions team's going to show up? What are the Ravens going to look like?
Well, look, the Lions got to get themselves some real football players.
Well,
that's what the
start
Lions
there.
got to do. They got to get themselves some real football
Don't
players.
blame it on Jared Goff.
They do believe in their head coach, and they do play hard. And I think they're a little frisky for Baltimore. I think this line is a little bit too big. I think it's tight. I think Baltimore wins 21-17.
Hollywood Brown's banged up. I'm with you. I think that I think the Baltimore defense is not as good as we thought it once was. I think the Lions can hang around in this one and make it interesting. Ravens 30, Leons 27.
There you go.
It's not a great early part of the day.
No, it's our game in Cincinnati, Pittsburgh, but then the afternoon is awesome and the Sunday nighter's fun.
Yeah, let's get into the 4 o'clock games now. Jets visiting the Broncos. Denver undefeated with Theodore.
I'm not going to lie. I don't love these scores. I'm not loving it. I wouldn't be surprised. These numbers are –
the numbers are really
numbers
for week 3. I agree with you. I think that there's some numbers that are really, really difficult. This is not one of them for me.
I would agree with that.
I mean, you need it's Denver 24, Jets 10.
Feels about right. Same. Ram it.
That's not a ram it.
Are you new to the show?
It's not.
Were you here last week?
That's not an 800-2 or -2.
No, that's a ram it.
That's a ram it.
If you cover double digits, it's a ram it.
That's a ram it.
Oh, okay. Keep tweaking things.
1-0 last night, as we told you we would.
We told you.
Yeah.
We called it.
I'm well aware of.
And we did it.
Your little victory lap earlier.
Yeah.
That's right.
Up next, Dolphins.
Thank good for that.
Raiders. Jacoby Brissett. Is that right? Do I have that right?
You
I
do
believe
have
you
that
do,
right.
yeah.
Yeah. And we're not sure what's going on with Carr. Raiders, Dolphins from Las Vegas. Raiders undefeated, 2-0.
They stay that way. They stay that way.
They should.
Vegas 27, Miami 17.
I think Jacoby Brissett is a good thing
for
the Miami Dolphins.
Oh,
I think Will Fuller is back. Devontae Parker,
boy.
Jalen Waddle, Gesicki, Gaskin. Safe. That's a defense that they were just embarrassed. Brian Flores not going to stand for that level of embarrassment.
No,
he's not going to have it at all. He's going to come up short, but it's going to be Raiders 24, Fins 23.
Wow.
Up next, kids, Seattle, Minnesota. Vikings, tune-up. They'll face the Browns next week.
Tune up with Seattle, then you get us.
There you go. There's a tune-up.
You're 0-2, so they're 0-2, and they go Seattle, us.
Yeah.
Jeez.
It
Godspeed.
could easily be 2-0.
And by the way,
No.
Dalvin Cook, playing, not
No.
playing?
I don't know, Gibby. I hope he is playing because I got him on a few of my fantasy teams here, but that's neither here nor there. These are the scores. They're begging you to take Seattle. I mean, they are they have rolled out the red carpet.
They really
said,
have.
here, would you like a limo to pick you up? What do you want? You want stock there? You like a nice bourbon for you?
Sure,
A tequila for me?
sure.
All of it's there, but sometimes it is just that easy. I can't do it. I've already taken a couple risks that I don't feel great about, but in this case, Russ gets it done. Seattle coming off of a loss. Had they won that game, I might be inclined to go another direction. Big. Seattle, 48. Minnesota, 30.
Type. Weird. They're like better on the road than they are at home.
Yes.
Seattle. It's strange.
Yeah. Up next, kids, it's the big one. It's America's game in the late day sun. Tampa Bay visiting the Los Angeles Rams. Rams undefeated. 49ers undefeated. Arizona Cardinals undefeated. Rams, Bucks.
Is there an I mean, Brady approaches Jordan when it comes to pettiness and keeping lists of people that somehow slighted him, even though he is universally considered the greatest quarterback of all time, has 7 Super Bowls, but yet will keep lists. And I think that he paid very close attention to his struggles and what was said about him a year ago in the big window games that they played early in the season, late afternoon, Sunday night games, a lot of people questioning him. I'm not going against Brady. Give me the Bucks. 31. Ram it. 24.
Same. I just don't think the Rams are complete enough on offense to keep up with them. You have
Gotta be
to
able
have
to
a
run it.
semblance of a running game, and they don't have that. I agree with you. I think the Bucks win this one. They're the creme de la creme here. Big opportunity for the Rams. Turnovers could be the equalizer, but at the end of the day, Brady 31-28, a winner in La La Land. Going back to California, you can't discount that. What that means to Tom.
About 90 seconds here. Sunday night football.
Nerd.
Packers, Niners.
Nerd, did you know that the LaFleur-Shanahan relationship strained? Said, Nerd, why wouldn't we do our due diligence? Why wouldn't we think about bringing Aaron Rodgers home? Pleaded Cal. Why not the Niners? Unhappy in Wisconsin. It's cold there. It's beautiful. Close to Napa. Nate, Niners.
No, Dad, I don't think so this time.
Nate, watch me drink your coffee. My coffee. Get me coffee. Nate, Packers. 27. Niners 24.
Same.
Same.
We'll do our game next. You listen to Cleveland Browns Daily on 850 ESPN Cleveland.
Yes.
Elk and Elk, serious lawyers, serious injuries. Call 1-800-ELK Ohio today for a free case review. Elk and Elk is a proud partner of your Cleveland Browns. Some injury news from Chicago.
Tashawn Gibson, doubtful. We heard that earlier, that it was heading that way. Doubtful to play in his return to Cleveland, so he will not be out there, which means a secondary that has struggled will be without one of their starters. Either DeAndre Houston Carson or Dion Bush will start alongside Eddie Jackson at safety. I think the Browns can pick on this back end of this defense.
And your score, sir?
We said it earlier, 28-20. Let's go.
28-20.
Browns.
Odell's back.
Yes.
Bootsy in attendance.
Bootsy
Let's
the
go.
Bold. That's worth a touchdown. Change it. 35-20. Bootsy.
Slump down.
Oh, ram it.
It's going to be fun. It is going to be a lot. It's just, I root for Justin Fields. This is just too much for him. This is not the game you want to debut in. This is not the situation you want to be in. And I think there's going to be stuff he's never seen before from Joe Woods. I think Delpit coming on last week, JOK, healthy dose, and feel like Beckham. The return of OBJ is a real one.
It's stout. Get in there early. Get in your seats. Get your pennant. Let's go.
Oh, yeah, first 10,000. These are buttes.
It's a butte. It's a real nice felt.
Really is a beaut. Good job. All right. The next level is coming up next. Enjoy the game, everybody. We're back Monday from the golf outing with Joe Thomas.
Yes.
Provided we can all get there. Right, Gibby? We coming in hot.
Coming in hot.
Coming in hot, kids.
Good news. We don't have any valets to worry about that day.
Just park
right
on
next
the
to the
fairway.
course.
I'll just
Drive